You found an image that you love and you want to paint it? Great, good for you. Maybe it needs a bit of adjustment so it fits perfectly your art style. Bonjour, I'm Cécile, a French artist and art teacher, and my mission is to help you becoming a better artist. This is part 4 in my series about reference photos in art. After 3 ways to use a reference photo, what is a good reference photo, where to find a reference photo. Today we are tweaking your reference photo you found. And all the photos I'm using in this video are from Museum by Sketchy. Because sometimes there is a photo, you love it, but maybe it's a bit too dark or it's a bit out of frame, or maybe you need to reframe it so the composition is better. And there are several ways to do this. Use your camera roll editing app. It's built in, it's very easy to work from, and it's a very good way to reframe something. Let me show you that. Let's say you have this image with this cute girl, but you want to reframe it because your paper is maybe square or maybe a bit lower. So tap on it, tap on edit, and you will tap on the frame rate. And this is really cool because you can move the corner and you see you have this grid appearing, which is great for the rule of third. And now if you hold your photo, you can also move it, enlarge it, and if you want to have something like this, that's really cool. And it's a complete different photo. If you have a drawing app like Procreate or Photoshop, create a canvas that is the size of your final painting. If your canvas is measuring 90 centimeters tall, you will create a canvas that is 900 pixels tall. So it's a small image and you can just play inside with photos. So you have your canvas that is a good size and you will insert the image you want to use. I don't know, let's say this one. So I have this girl and I really don't like how it's framed because I see too much of the chest. So I can enlarge and reframe it until it fits my needs. Maybe a bit too much chest as well. Let's lower that. And it's getting a bit blurry because I have enlarged it quite a lot, but it doesn't really matter. Now I know where is the frame, where I want to use it, and I'm ready to get this sketch done on the canvas. Now let's talk about lighting and contrast. And as I said in the previous videos, it's really important to have a good lighting in your photos and a good contrast as well. So let's talk about this image. I love it. It's really gorgeous, but it's a bit too dark and I want to tweak a bit the settings on the image. So first way to do it is, as I said before, in the built-in camera roll app. So tap on edit. And then you have different ways you can move on the right. You have the exposure, brilliance, highlights, shadows, contrast, brightness, etc. What you want to avoid is the magic wand, which will do it automatically for you, and maybe you want to stay away from it. And depending on each photo, there is no recipe I can give you that will work for every photo. But for this one, I think if you tweak the exposure about 35, look, the difference between the previous one and this one. This is really interesting. Brilliance is also interesting here. I really want to lighten the dark part of the cheek. I know it's changing completely the photo, but I need to have the facial features very readable so I can paint them. And you want to have your life easier by doing so. Highlights are really too much. It's flattening everything, so I wouldn't touch it. Shadows, yeah, maybe increase a bit the shadows in the hair. And you can also tweak the contrast, but not too much. This is getting really a strange face. a bit more brightness, and black point is the amount of black. You see, if I push it and if I lower it, so I will increase it a bit. Saturation could be interesting. It depends how hard you want your hair to be orange. Vibrancy a bit more, and warmth. I wouldn't change it because it's really completely changing the mood of the photos. Maybe lower a bit the skin. It's a bit too reddish. And the rest of it, it's not interesting to me. So you tap on done, and now you have your photo. And let me show you the photo before. Here is the before, and here is the after. Talk about a difference. And I would certainly be using this one for painting way much more than the previous one, the original one. It's a great photo, but really for painting, I like to have the light where I need to see the things I want to paint. This is really important. Are you convinced? And you can go a bit further with editing your photo and use a drawing app for this. I will be using Procreate, but you can use Photoshop or whatever you are used to. And I will take the one I have tweaked, and I can change completely the overall effect to get a really special reference image if I want to have a very different art. So for this, I will import the photo in Procreate, and then I will go to gradient map. And gradient map is just switching a color for another, and you have different presets. This is really interesting. You see purple and pink. It's wow. This one is too dark. I think the first one was really cool. And you can change the color inside. Let's say you don't like this blue. You can go and get something a bit darker. And the greenish, maybe you don't like it, so you can tweak it. That would be cool also, like this, very strong contrast. So you can play forever and get interesting reference images if you need this to work. Or maybe sometimes a good thing is just to remove the color. And this is really easy to do in your built-in app. You tap on edit and you are looking for saturation. And saturation, you will place it completely -100. So you have strictly no color inside. And now you can really see the contrast and the values, as I was talking about in my previous video about what is a good reference photo.